Really pleased with the performance that we put in. Given the kind of environment that we were in, albeit it's the same for both teams. But I thought the girls would face some different problems then and change our style of play a wee bit in terms of getting the result. So we to change our style a wee bit, which the last time we played Hibs. We probably, or the fans would have probably saw or witnessed better football than what they probably witnessed last night,
Obviously now Celtic next up. Is it a case of looking for revenge from the last time out?
No, I don't think revenge is the word. I think every game that we play, we want to try and get the 3 points. We want to try and bring our attributes into the game, play in the style and the fashion that we want to play in. So no, there'll be no change in terms of any other outside influence in the game. It'll just be again the focus is getting the 3 points and getting the performance levels first and foremost to then allow us to then go and express ourselves in the game and hopefully get 3 points.
How big a step could this be for the squad if they were to secure that win in terms of getting that Champions League football next season?
Yeah, it'd be great. It'd be absolutely massive for the club. I think a club like Rangers demands that type of football, that kind of competition level of football. There's certainly the board, the backing and the investment that they've put towards the Rangers women's team. We want to try and play at the highest level that we can, in order to then grow not just the women's game, but grow the club, Rangers Football Club.
And that would be a huge, that finally for me, that 3 points at the weekend would go a huge way to making that a possibility.
Oh, definitely. It'll definitely help us. Help us in future years as well. Obviously, we have a focus. We have an ambition. If you just look at the men's game, first team men's game, what they achieved this year and what it does for the club in terms of confidence and everything that's round about it.
Obviously, the last 2 games have been good, solid performances. How have you been able to deal with the squad in the position you're in, where essentially the championship winning is out of your own hands? You've got to depend on other teams to take something.
Well, Mark, I think in football it's about every experience. Every experience that you have in football gives you a lesson to learn. You've obviously, we analyse after the game, not just from a staff's point of view, how we prepared and how we planned for that game, but we also analyse the players, and we actually have various processes in place where the players analyse themselves, and they become quite open about their own analytical view on the game that they've just played in. So again, it's a learning curve. We then take the findings of that game, and then we put certain measures in practice in training to then allow us to become more robust, become a better elite athlete to play at Rangers Football Club.
How chuffed are you knowing that you've got that versatility in your squad and the kind of call up to goals if it's needed? Because obviously without those 3 goals it wouldn't have been a win. So how pleased are you with that?
Well, I think it was one of those games, Courtney, where the pitch wasn't conducive to playing our style of play, if you like, and I think a lot of people would have evidenced that if they'd watched it last night. I certainly watched the game again last night after we came home and viewed it, and I think that the big thing that we had worked on was the final thing that we do with the ball. So not just in terms of in general play, but even if we've got free kicks or throw-ins and things like that, was taking care of the ball and having quality round about those set pieces, if you like, set plays. So last night we managed to get a higher standard of delivery put into the box, and when you've got a better delivery and your timing and your runs are a bit better than what they have been in the past, then you'll create chances to score goals. So again, a big learning curve for the girls to actually understand that when you do take care of the ball, and the last thing you do with the ball is how you're judged, you become a better team.
There was plenty of, playing about with the team last night. Hay coming off at half time and Sonia coming on, etc. I understand that Zoe Ness was on a yellow card, so that might have contributed towards her coming off. But can we expect to see the sort of same thing on Sunday? Plenty plenty of movement of the team?
Well, if I had a crystal ball, I'd be able to answer that question. I think it'll just be in the moment. You know, the game changes so fast depending on whatever situations arise. You know, I'm really mindful last night of the pitch. The pitch wasn't great for both teams. You know, to be quite frank. So yeah, we've got attributes in the team that we'll utilise, and certainly last night I thought that you know we managed the game really well, and we had to sustain, you know, bits of pressure, not in terms of Hibs, you know, putting us under severe pressure, but concentration levels had to be really high. Certainly, you know, I thought we really were solid enough. I don't think Jenna really had a save to make, albeit that Hibs did have a couple of chances at goals, but they were from distance and something we would have expected Jenna to deal with anyway.
How's Carly Girasoli's, I understand it's a hamstring injury. I think she said after the game it was just, you know, a tightness. Is she doing all right?
Carly's a tough kid. She's nearly as tough as me. She'll be fine. She'll be okay.
In terms of the way the team has been playing all season, I think we've discussed an awful lot about performance levels and getting Rangers to be where you want to be in the future because of it being the first season where they're all professionals. But I think the past two games have looked more like what an experienced side would look like that have been playing at this level for a longer time. The win against Spartans was, I think, one of the best of the season, and last night's win was efficient, shall we say, if you want to use that word. But how close are the team to playing the way you anticipate them playing when everything's kind of clicked?
Well, I think it's like anything. The process that we're going through is going to take time, and as with anything in life, it's time and effort that it gets you success. But I think you're right in what you're saying there. That for me, last night's win, managing to play in that environment, really let me see how far the girls have came on in terms of their belief in themselves and handling playing a club like Rangers. I think for anybody looking in there, it's easy to try and judge players on a level playing field, and certainly it was the same for both teams having to play there. But it's a difference when you play with Rangers. You're expected to do X, Y, and Z, and it doesn't matter. You know, other teams, with all due respect to them, you know, they're you know, if they can beat Rangers, then you know it's a great result for them. So we've got to handle that type of pressure and sustain that type of pressure for 90 minutes.
As a fan, I think sometimes you do watch games back, especially the defeats, if the Derby defeats, but I don't know if it's different within coaching staff. Have you reviewed the previous games against Celtic just to see where you've gone wrong, or do you see no merit in looking over previous games from like 2-3 months ago?
Yeah, I'm constantly analysing every training session, never mind every game. So it's about developing that individual player and collectively as a team. So we analyse everything. The thing about it is, in the moment, once the game's finished, that's it, finished. There's nothing you can do to affect the result or affect your performance. But what you can do is you can analyse it. So you can analyse it with the players, you can analyse it as a group, you know, you can analyse it as a staff and how you approached it. So it's a constant process of utilising the army of staff that we've got here to make your next training session, your next game better.
I don't know whether you can tell me or not, but how far away is Kirsten from returning?
Kirsten's still feeling a bit of discomfort with her ribs, although it's getting better and better. The advantage that we have with Kirsten Raleys and with the rest of the players is that they maintain a level of fitness. Over both lockdown periods, they've worked hard to keep themselves in good shape. So she's still training just now. She's still keeping herself ticking over. So if she were to be available come Sunday, and we're hopeful that she will be, then it'll not be a problem for her to step back in, you know, either starting or finishing the game.